pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You could please remain standing if you're able to, for a moment of silence. I would ask everybody to please keep in their thoughts and prayers during this holiday season, week before Christmas, anybody that has lost loved ones. Actually spoke with a woman today who lost her son to a tragic event within the last couple months, and she's looking for closure. Very upsetting. So I'm sure there are plenty of people in our area, in our community, that will be without their family members this holiday. Please keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you. You may be seated. As required by the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by adopting a schedule of the regular meetings for the year 2023. The schedule was posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building and was mailed to the South Jersey Times and the Courier Post newspapers on January 2nd, 2023. This notice was also published in the South Jersey Times on November 15, 2023. Notice was also filed with the Township Clerk. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Layton.
Here.
Committeeman Legge.
Here.
Committeewoman Lukens.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Scarrato.
Here.
Mayor Zimmerman.
Here.
Mrs. Belisi. Here. Mr. Platt.
Here.
Mrs. Cobley. Here. Mr. Demers.
Here.
Chief White.
Here.
Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from November 13, 2023. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second. Roll call, Pam?
Mr. Layton.
Yes.
Mr. Legge.
Yes.
Mrs. Lukens.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Scarrato.
Yes.
Mayor Zimmerman.
Yes. Moving along to the professionals. Erica, engineering report, please.
Just that West Mercer, the resolution to award that to Paving West is on the agenda tonight, so pending approval, we'll get those contracts over to them and get a pre-construction meeting scheduled, but at this point, paving will be in the spring. And then we're still waiting on approval from the DOT for South McCarthy to go out for bid, so I'm anticipating that will also be this spring.
Okay, that's it.
That's it for me.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Erica? Okay, seeing none, police department, or I'm sorry, Public Works, Glenn.
Just have a few things, Mayor. Leaf season's going really well. We estimate another 2 weeks or less, everything should be completed. That's curb line as well. This doesn't take into consideration the homes that really haven't been raking or anything, so I guess we'll deal with that in the spring. But overall, we're looking really well. Very happy with it. The new flagpoles for Veterans Memorial will begin installation January 11th, 2024, weather permitting. If something should change, I will be updating everyone on the change. And just one last thing, I just want to take this time to wish everyone a happy and healthy holiday and New Year. And that's all I had, Mayor.
Thank you, Glenn. Anybody have anything for Glenn? No? Great job with leaf season. Guess we gauge that by the number of complaints we get. And I can honestly say I didn't get any. And matter of fact, the things that I heard and the things that I saw were all positive, raving reviews for you and your department. So please pass those accolades along.
I certainly will.
Okay, great, thanks. Next, Chief White, please.
Thank you, sir. Submitted a written report and just touch on a couple quick things. We're obviously looking towards swearing a new officer tonight. Sergeant Layton, our detectives have been busy combating the retail theft issue that's all around the country. Building some undercover stuff at our stores. Our DWI grant is ongoing, and I'm told we have numerous arrests and summonses that have been written so far. And I'll also say Merry Christmas to everybody.
Thank you, Chief. Anybody for the Chief? I'll just comment, last month's police department report, you had 2,852 calls for service, made 80 arrests, wrote 176 summonses, and handled 142 investigation reports and investigated 44 motor vehicle crashes. So definitely a busy police department, especially for this time of the year, but the one thing I wanted to comment on and elaborate on is the retail thefts. I went through the information that was provided to me by Lieutenant Haas, and, you know, one, I think it's absolutely appalling that we're dealing with the number of shoplifting attempts. I'll say attempts here in Mantua Township. Just in November, it was Kohl's, Target, and Home Depot. There were 17 shoplifting incidents that were put out in the press by Lieutenant Haas. And the positive is 15 were closed out by arrest. So kudos to the Mantua Police Department. 17 incidents. I didn't tally up the number, the monetary value, but I would say it's probably close to, you know, anywhere between $6,000 and $10,000 if I remember correctly in attempted stolen products. But I think it's just an absolute disgrace, but a credit to you guys. You know, the majority of the individuals that are committing these crimes aren't from Mantua. They're coming in from out of our area, out of state, many from out of state. So credit to the department, the Detective Bureau patrols. Can't say enough positive things about the work you're doing, and thank you, and please pass along that to your men and women in the department.
We'll do. Hopefully we'll keep them out of Mantua for a little while as well.
Yes, sir. All right, next is resolution R32, 2023, that's a public portion. Before we open that up, I would just like to read our statement. Like to summarize a few things that will help clarify our process and encourage you to properly participate in our township business. We highly value everyone's input and want to ensure that each of you has an equal and fair opportunity to speak. Therefore, we are respectfully requesting your cooperation so this can be done in an efficient and orderly fashion. Please familiarize yourselves with Resolution 32, 2023, which outlines the decorum for our public participation. It's posted on the township website, it has been attached to tonight's meeting agendas, and is posted on the main entrance to the township building and the speaking podium in this room. Some things to consider: all remarks shall be addressed to the township committee as a governing body and not to any particular member or members. Please understand that we have a 5-minute rule for each participant, and that we may limit public portion to 30 minutes. You may not yield your time to another speaker, and you may only comment one time at each meeting. All members attending our meetings must treat everyone, including the governing body and our employees, with respect. Shouting from the audience is strictly prohibited. No unruly or disruptive behavior or personally offensive or abusive remarks or behavior is acceptable. So with that being said, can we have a motion to open to public participation?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, if you would like to speak, I would just ask you to kindly step up to the mic and provide your name and address for the record.
My name is Carol Rhodes, and my address is 106 Breakneck Road in Barnesboro. And I'm here because I don't usually get the Mantua Sun, so I don't know if a retraction was printed to give the people of Mantua the correct figures on the Rowan Museum. With so many people complaining about their taxes, I think it's very important that people know what a tax burden this museum will be based on the figures the mayor gave us at one of your messages that you published in the Sun. I did not speak with Jenica. I received a message from her and she was going to get back to me, but we weren't able to connect. So I was hoping that the people of Mantua would be told the truth about the museum. If it's going to cost us money with all the people that are struggling now, I think that should be made public. And certainly, if it was just a math mistake, that should be corrected too. But I think that people should be told the truth. And we're really happy that the results for the GCL were certified, so you can vote on it. We were very concerned that the meeting that the DRPA had with you, the public was excluded. They didn't, I don't want to say they didn't pull that, but they didn't do that in Winona, and they didn't do it in Westville, and they didn't do it in Pittman. But here in Mantua, the public was excluded from the meeting. And, that's really not a great way to do business, but we'll see what happens with the, motion tonight. Thank you for your time.
Ms. Rose, if I could just respond to you,
Sure.
please. So regarding the fossil park, the information that you're referencing was put out, on April 27th.
Yes.
I did put that out myself, got some of that information, from our township administrator. You did come in last meeting and you expressed those concerns again. We did verify that that information is in fact accurate, and I did put that in the mayor's message, the written message in the November 16th edition that I submitted. So just for clarification purposes, Mantua Township purchased what was known as the Leaden redevelopment property back in 16 for $452,000. Went out by through RFP. At that time, in 2019, the property was sold by the township to Rick and Jean Edelman for $650,000, or $655,000. So there was a net profit to the township of $203,000.
Yes.
That's what I put in the mayor's message back in April, and again, I did put it in again on November 16th.
And did you explain the next part, Mayor?
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So regarding the next part, the agreement was to have the municipal impact fee paid by Rowan to the township for a 10-year period, okay? And that was $42,000 a year for 10 years, and it will end in 2025. So 42,000 times 10 years is 420,000. So if you look at.
They bought it in 2019, Mayor, and between
Ma'am,
2019.
excuse me, ma'am, please let the mayor finish.
Certainly.
So where was I? So 42,000, it's a 10-year agreement, correct, Janica?
Correct.
So over the 10-year period, it's 420,000. So if you take the 420,000 and the 203,000, that's where you come up with the 623,000.
What I'm reading is that there will be a municipal impact fee in the amount of $42,000 per year for 10 years. Now, they purchased it in 2019, and they're gonna end in 2025. 6 years does not equal 10, Mayor.
Right. Well, it's over a 10-year period.
So then they're gonna continue paying after 2025?
I would presume that would
Yeah,
be the
it's a
case.
10-year
It's a
lease. It's a
10-year
10-year agreement.
agreement.
Okay, is there something in writing, because this says that it's gonna end in 2025, which is not 10 years, if they
So-
bought it in 2019.
Correct, it's a 10-year agreement, I can certainly pass along the
Okay,
agreement.
because
We
when he
approved
said
that.
it was gonna end in
Is it possible that it was
2025.
retroactive going back?
Probably, I mean, I have to pull the agreement, I don't have it in
Right,
front of me.
I'm
to be
kinda
honest
thinking
with
that
you.
they wouldn't pay that if they didn't own the property, like common sense would tell you that.
Yeah.
And I was also concerned that after the 10 years, do they get a free ride?
There's, well, I mean, it's a tax
Well, they're exempt.
Yeah, it's an exempt.
So after the 10 years, they don't have to pay anything?
Right.
That's pretty nice. Yeah, but I would like to know, because, you know, just based on that, that they bought it in 2019 and they're gonna stop paying the pilot or whatever in 2025.
Right. Well,
that's not-
I appreciate you bringing it up, and it makes sense. Jenica tried to get a hold of you by
I know, I
phone.
said.
Sorry,
So we could have
you
certainly
connect. I
clarified
appreciate
that rather than having the discussion here or putting something in the
Well, I
paper
would have
to
even,
try.
you know, even if an email that explained it, but I knew when I showed these
Right.
to people, they're like, this isn't 10 years. I
Right.
said, I know.
Well, it's the figure at the end, which I think is.
Right, yeah. So I appreciate that.
Yep, no problem.
Thank
Carol,
you.
can I ask you a question?
Certainly.
How come you're against the fossil park?
I just think that it should have been, how do I put this? There's no way anybody can walk there. If the GCL goes through, who's gonna go there? They're gonna have to get there how? By shuttle buses? It's gonna be, I think, an interest to the school kids, you know, the mandatory bus trip, but I don't see it as being, the best use of that property. Like, I think it could have been put out for bid and seen if we could have gotten somebody in that would have paid taxes instead of a tax exempt property, with so many people in Mantua complaining about their taxes.
There's no place else in the world where those dinosaurs are. I mean, why would you, and how would a developer develop that property when,
I don't know.
what would they do with the dinosaurs that they're finding there and stuff? So,
I just think it should have been.
it's gonna be a learning institution, it's world renowned. I mean, I don't think we have to put Mantua on the map, but I think, why would you ever wanna think of anything but that museum being there and a learning institution.
I think of the money
And when we
that
do have
we could use.
And when we do have the fine, when we have the design, that thing, they'd have 2,000 children there,
Oh, I know, I think that's wonderful.
so.
And listen, there are a lot of people that are thrilled about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So,
good.
I mean, more people come forward and express their gratitude and appreciation for it being here in Mantua Township than in opposition. So,
And I
it's
hope they're
like,
grateful when we lose that 42,000 a year too.
Rowan's gonna be a Division I school eventually someday, we're gonna have a veterinarian school here, at Rowan. It's a great school, Rowan, and any one of these we got a lot of interns here that go to Rowan, and
That's good.
that dinosaur, the fossil park is just a great thing for Rowan and for Mantua.
The
I just can't see why it would be
Smithsonian
a
has-
problem.
Smithsonian has said that this is the most anticipated museum opening in the world for 2025,
That's great.
or 2024, I'm sorry, yeah. So, I mean, it's not just us, this is a big deal.
No, I was concerned about the loss of tax money with so many people complaining about their tax bills, you know? And I think you have to acknowledge that. To just like pretend it doesn't exist. that
and we do
people are
acknowledge
concerned.
that, and that's why we hadn't raised taxes in 21 and 22, and this year, very minimal increase at the local level, which is the only thing we control to pay our bills.
Right, and
So
then-
there's been no increases ultimately here in Mantua Township for 3 years, other than a very small, like 1 or 2% increase over last year to pay our bills due to inflation.
Right. I know when they did the reassessment, that hurt a lot of people, but there was one meeting, I think, where Pete made a comment, because people were getting the anchor rebates, and he said, well, just take that anchor rebate and pay Mantua. So those people really did not get any type of tax, help, because they had to take what we got from the state and turn it over to Mantua. So,
Alls I meant by that is you're getting an anchor program, that money will offset any kind of tax increase, that's
Right.
all. And that's what it was meant to be. I
they
mean,
got no help,
well,
you know, but.
did you get your anchor check?
I did,
Okay.
I did. My taxes didn't go up that much, but I know a lot of people who did and are concerned, but.
Well, until the state changes their ways, how we fund things, we've been flatlining this township for 14 years, we haven't, back when Christie was the governor, he took $300,000 from us, and then for 14 years straight, we have not had an increase in what we get, so.
I believe it.
So we only have one place to get it from, it's the taxpayers,
Right.
unfortunately.
Right.
And we've been trying to hold the line.
Mhm.
But being against the Rowan dinosaur pit, you know, if they stopped that, that property would flood if they didn't keep those pumps running there.
Mhm.
And those dinosaurs would be lost forever, so.
I was just concerned about the loss of tax revenue.
Well, I don't think we would have been able to build anything back there, Carol, to be
We
honest.
don't know.
I mean, it would have been underwater, so.
Was it underwater before?
No, they had to keep pumps running. That's how they found the dinosaur. When they were mining the sand,
Mhm.
that's when they started finding these dinosaurs. So the company was kind enough to keep the pumps running.
Mhm.
And then
That's good.
finally, we made the, Rowan and everybody made the move to buy from that, Emerson. So,
Thank you. Have a good holiday. Could you state your name, please, and address for the record?
Daniel, 522 Delaware Street in Woodbury, New Jersey. I just finished the fifth intervention to my eyes, and I can see clearly now. You all look beautiful. Before, my eyes, vision was blurred. I couldn't see very well, but now I can see you all very well.
Well, thank you, Merry Christmas. Oh, you have more to say?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's been a good Christmas for me. Okay.
It's the holiday season, end off on a good note, okay?
Just a few points of information. The reason why the Delaware Regional Port Authority did not have an open meeting is because 3 times when they had an open meeting, our research team challenged some of the points, and indeed in a few points, we embarrassed them with facts that they themselves did not know. That's why they didn't have an open meeting. We don't mind that. If they wanna keep a closed meeting, that's fine, but we know that you know what's going on, if you really wanna know. The second thing I wanna tell you is that on on the possibility that the GCL is going to go through, don't count on it. If you remember the Atlantic City Expressway, the Crosstown Expressway in Philadelphia, they thought that was gonna go through too. But we tied them up in court, and eventually the time was so long that they couldn't wait no more, and they made a compromise. The same thing is gonna happen here. Either they're gonna run out of money, or we're gonna tie them up in court, one of the two, okay? And the third thing I wanna tell you is, I love the wording of your resolution and the will of the people. Boy, that says it all. And I really thank you for that, putting those words in that resolution, okay? Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you, same to you. If I could just comment quickly regarding the meetings. So those meetings, and I think Ms. Rhodes commented on it, those meetings are the same meetings that the GCL team has asked along the line. So Glassboro, Pittman, they're all having those same meetings. And it's not our choice
I know that.
to exclude the public.
I know that,
And,
and I wasn't pointing you, I was
Pete
pointing
was
at them.
in
I
that
know why
meeting
they
with
do
me.
it.
He was in the meeting in Jenica, and we asked, about a public meeting. What I put out in the, mayor's written message was transparency relative
Yeah.
to that meeting.
Absolutely,
Okay,
you know
so, again, there's subjectivity here, everybody has an opinion, and I respect that. What we put out was the information that was provided to us. And I can tell you that we pushed hard for them to host a meeting here in Mantua, and they said it's not gonna happen
I
at this
believe
time.
that.
In
Some of them
August
I
or
believe.
whenever it was, when Jenica reached out, they told us it was gonna happen in the fall. That's what we reported to you guys at a couple different meetings, and then when we asked at the, meeting that we had, a month ago or whenever it was, they said, no, we're not gonna have a meeting, with the public, at this time. We can't give you a time when that will happen, but it won't be until sometime next year.
I believe, I just wanna let you aware of the reason why, the way they think.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
No problem. All right, anybody else? Ask you just to come up, state your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, everybody. Joe Hetzel, 5321 Doris Drive, Commercial Township. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Merry Christmas. What I wanted to briefly discuss was two topics on my mind. One is the quiet zone, that the Port Authority has been telling municipalities quite a bit of things about the quiet zone. After doing extensive research, what they're telling you isn't accurate. Okay, there's no 18-mile quiet zones anywhere in the United States. I know because I've researched the Federal Railroad Administration guidelines on quiet zones, and I invited the Railroad Engineering Safety Unit down from DOT and FRA representatives to Winona last year, and they explained to the public what it takes to get a quiet zone, who's responsible for all the parts of it. Okay, what they're telling you isn't 100% of what's required of a quiet zone. And my suggestion would be to call the Railroad Engineering Safety Unit and have them come down and do a public meeting. Now, the Port Authority says they're not doing any more public meetings, but the mayor or somebody on the administration has to contact them, because after we did it Winona, the DOT gave them some blowback over it, and with the county. So they're not doing any more personal requests for public. It has to be a municipal request, and somebody has to be there present for it. Now, since you're the chair or the president of the Mayors Association, I think that would be a good information session for all the mayors on the line impacted by the quiet zone. Because the quiet zone is very expensive, and that's why there is none anywhere around here, and very few in New Jersey, because of the extreme expense. And my second point is the fossil park. I believe Mantua has, or used to have, a tree ordinance where these developers come in and wipe out acres of trees. They're supposed to compensate in some form, either cash or a donation to the Open Space Recreation Trust Fund. Is that being done?
I can speak on that. That would go through the land use board. They had, since they're an institutional, they don't have to go through a full compliance plan, right, John, through land use board. So that would be in part of their site plan approvals and things like that, as since they're an institution, they don't come, they only come before as a courtesy review. So that part, or the aspect of clear removing and tree removal, wouldn't be part of their approvals or anything like that.
But that's what they have to do, when they come in and they wipe out so many acres of trees, they have to pay for that, they have to compensate somehow.
Right, but that's tied into the site plan approvals, that's when all of that is put through, and the approvals are part of that resolution. They don't come before the board for us to implement or enforce those types of approvals at that part.
Well, they're gonna,
Exempt,
I'm not getting the whole thing, but
Okay.
what I'm trying to get to is, how much money are they paying either into the open trust fund or to replace trees?
Right now, we have they have not paid any into the open space or to replace trees.
Sometimes when you have a development, sometimes you just leave nature alone, right? And it does what it's supposed to do. But when you come in here and impact nature like the fossil park is, and the GCL might, okay, there has to be compensation somewhere down the line. And Mantua has an ordinance that needs to be enforced.
Joe, they're preserving all that land there.
No, and they're also wiping out
Well,
acres of
the
forest.
building isn't that large back here. If you go back here, you can see how big the building is. It doesn't take that much space up, Joe.
I'm trying to find the environmental impact statement on that property, and I'm getting a runaround.
No, you're not getting a runaround.
I haven't asked Mantua for it,
No, you're not getting a runaround.
okay, but they haven't provided it, the DEP hasn't provided it.
It's a college, it's an institution.
That
They're not
doesn't,
gonna-
that doesn't
well,
excuse them from doing what they're supposed to do. Does Mantua have an environmental impact statement on that property?
I don't know, Joe.
I would have to check with planning, but I don't think so, because it hasn't come through the board.
Is the environmental commission active?
No, they are not.
How long have they been inactive?
Since maybe 2 years, since we were not able to get volunteers or any board quorums or anything like that.
And since they didn't review the EIS for the GCL, I'm gonna take it as an assumption that they didn't read any impact on the environment to that property.
We have not received an impact study on the environmental, and our environmental commission wouldn't read that. I mean, it's the documents, volumes.
I understand that,
We're not
but
gonna have a
but as
volunteer
part
board
of-
read the
Mayor, if I
environmental
could-
study.
As part of the environmental
Yeah,
commission
that's-
duties,
Sir.
that's what they're supposed to do.
Sir, to me, the local environmental commission, whether it be an advisory board or commission, is not the limit of the environmental impact evaluation of any of this. There's state, federal, county, and other levels of government that have much more detailed, much more intricate, much more conservative rules of impact studies and impact evaluations. So the fact that Mantua is not dealing with this directly because you have entities that are at a different level of jurisdiction, federal and state entities, we have no jurisdiction over them, but they have their own rules and regulations that are every bit, and quite frankly, a lot stronger than any local environmental regulations. They all really emanate from the state and the DEP and the federal EPA.
Oh, I understand the process.
All right, Joe,
to be, the
we're at like
environmental
6 minutes
commissioner
now, so
I
again,
understand.
to allow other people an
I
opportunity to
got it,
speak,
I
I'm
got
gonna
it.
have to.
I got my answers, thank you.
Yep, no problem. Thank you for coming out. Okay, anybody else have anything? We're at about 20 minutes. I wanna keep it to a half hour. We have other business to conduct. So anything else other than the topics that have been discussed? Any other business? Let you go if you can be quick.
Yeah, Charles Hughes, 31 North Child Street, Woodbury, New Jersey. And I know something about the fossil park. I took scouts to the fossil park many times. And when people talk about the dinosaurs that they found back there, they didn't find dinosaurs, they found fossils. And the average size of the fossils that they find are about the size of your thumbnail. They're little tiny creatures. And they're so small that a lot of them you have to look at underneath a magnifying glass. And there's nothing unique about those little tiny fossils. They're all over the world, not just in that place. And
Well, I'd have to disagree with you. That's not true, Charles, so.
what kind
Because
of dinosaurs?
I'll have Dr. Lacavera come here and tell you the fossils they found there, and they found more than just a little speck.
But today, when they have it open, and you go in there and you're allowed to get fossils.
Right.
The fossils that you find there today are little tiny ones. They have experts there. My
You're-
scouts took them to be identified. We know the names of them all. They're not big bones. Anyway, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, if you could just state your name and address, please.
Tom Gaffin, 195 Melrose Road.
Yes, sir.
I think it needs to be brought to the attention of the committee that what's going on over with the Buddhist temple. They actually started to clear cut township property. There is a paper road back there, my property butts up to it. I've lived there literally all my life, 47 years. The paper street is called Van Buren. Now, where my monuments are, which I know exactly where my property monuments are, we have another 40-foot worth of Van Buren. It goes to within about 3 to 4 feet of where their asphalt line stops, is where their property line is. They've clear cut all the way back to my property line, okay? They got stakes in the ground. They're planning on putting on, this is what I'm hearing. They're planning on putting on trailers or huts to bring in refugees into our area. Now, number one, they don't have any type of permits for clear cutting this. Number two, they don't have any type of permits for putting in any type of shelters. Number three, I'm not sure if it's like the head guy over there or whatever. He actually lives there in that building. That's not a domicile there. You're not supposed to have permanent residence in that building, though he lives there, okay? And there are codes, which I don't have them written down because we just found out about the meeting 10 minutes ago. My wife has them all written down. There are codes that they're not allowed to take out trees in this township without a permit, number one. Number two, they're gonna have to replace them trees. Number three, even the trees that they took out, they can be fined for it. And we wanna know, myself and a few of my neighbors who is also impacting, what we can do about stopping them, like straight stopping.
Can I stop you before you go any further?
Please
just
do.
To respond. So I did receive, information from your wife on, I believe it was Friday.
Yes.
And there apparently was not anybody in code enforcement and zoning on Friday.
Mhm.
However, that information was relayed from me,
Mhm.
that I got from your wife,
Yes.
including some photographs and detailed, I'll say, report of what was going on Friday.
Yes.
I submitted that to the township administrator, and she's spearheading things with the
They'll be
departments
going
that
out,
will
yeah,
handle
tomorrow.
it directly this week.
Terrific.
Yep,
Really
we'll be
appreciate
going on
that.
site tomorrow. The construction official will be involved, as well as the director of code enforcement and land use, as well as the code enforcement officer.
Is there any way I can be there for any of this?
I mean, if.
I would like to listen in on it if that's
Sure, I mean,
possible.
we can give you an update. I mean, they're gonna be out on site. I don't know exactly when they're gonna be going, but if you wanna, we can touch base with you for sure
That would
tomorrow.
be terrific. I
Yeah,
really
so
appreciate
they're
that.
all, we're all aware of this, and
Okay.
we're gonna make sure whatever they do that's not in compliance, that violation notices are sent and follow up on, so we're fully aware of this, thanks.
Thank you
and
so
your
much.
wife.
And,
Yep.
and just to elaborate on that, Jen can be the point person, so any
Sure.
other questions or concerns you have, you don't have to wait till January or February's meeting. She'll get in touch with you once we find out a direction it's going, and if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to give her a call, you know.
I'm sure my wife will be in touch with you.
Sure, no problem, yep, I saw all the pictures and everything.
All right,
Yep.
terrific. Thank you very much.
All right, you're very welcome, have a good holiday.
You too.
Next, sir, I'm gonna end with the two of you, so if you could just, state your name and address for the record,
It's
please.
Richard Montana.
Yes, sir.
I'm representing Mr. Buddy Frezza over at Maplewood Village in Cedar Grove Park. We had some questions. Basically, he was supposed to be here tonight, but he's down in Florida and, didn't work out well with the weather. So there was a May meeting, with the rent control, and what we're trying to figure out now is, I'm on the phone with him, I'm on the phone with his attorney every day. We're trying to figure out how we can get the, minutes approved from that meeting. And that's the biggest thing we need to do now.
I think we have some information for you.
Okay, great.
I'm gonna allow the solicitor to respond
Okay.
to your concerns, and if he doesn't answer anything,
Okay.
or everything, excuse me, feel free to, have the dialogue there.
Okay.
Good evening, happy holiday. My name is
Thank you.
Stuart Podney, Township Solicitor. We also handle the Rent Control Board.
Okay.
We are right now, forming a meeting for the Rent Control Board, the Rent Leveling Board. before the end of the year.
Okay.
And we will
that's
address
awesome.
all the issues, minutes, resolutions, and we intend on notifying the homeowner association as well as the landlord, tenant association as well as the landlord, so that they can all be there, so we can get a progress update of the conditions that were imposed at the May meeting. The fact that there's not a written resolution doesn't mean there wasn't a determination from the rent leveling board. So we're gathering that meeting together. We're gonna try to do it before the end of this year to take care of all those issues, all the questions you have, to bring everything in. That board has jurisdiction, not really this committee doesn't have that jurisdiction. Because of the holidays, it's difficult. We have to get a quorum, we have to get at least 3 of the 5 members. People are busy with the holidays, as I'm sure you can understand. Once we're working on that, there will be notice of the meeting, and we put out on the township website, as well as the appropriate requirements in the public newspaper, as well as through direct service on both entities.
So what we're basically looking for now is that the minutes from the previous meeting be approved. Because from what I'm understanding, I wasn't at that meeting, but.
Minutes and all business will be taken care of at that, including minutes, resolutions, and an update on the status of this particular issue.
So the next question is, at that meeting, we were told that a construction official was going to inspect the property. When we reached out to them, they said, well, since there's no permits issued and no permits needed for the project, the projects that we did, then that they weren't gonna inspect it. So that's the next question. I need to know who, because we've been back and forth all over the place, talking to different people, and nobody wants to come up with who's gonna come out and inspect it.
My anticipation is that the landlord's gonna have to show that they made the improvements, and they're gonna have to provide ample evidence of that. And if they don't, then it's gonna be my legal advice at that point that there will be no rent increase that can go into effect.
See, the rent increase was approved at the previous meeting, prior.
It's conditional,
or
so again,
conditions.
I don't wanna cut you short, but
Right.
this is really not the time and place for that. When the meeting happens, we'll go over this, but the rent increase was conditional upon the landlord making those improvements.
Right, and he did, $178,000 worth, so.
We'll see about that.
What do you want, do you want receipts, or is there not gonna
Sir,
be an inspection?
can I ask you a question? Can you provide your contact information, your phone number and your name?
Yes.
Just write it on a piece of paper and provide it to the solicitor, and he can follow up. with
Yeah,
you
cause I'm
tomorrow.
kinda like, I'm the, federal HUD installer there and the federal inspector, so I do all of his communities. In fact, I do 70 other communities throughout New Jersey, so I'm really involved with, a lot of the rent control and the different things with these communities where the owners.
As the
are-
mayor said, sir, provide your information,
Okay.
Jenica, and we'll get you, we'll ask you for the information that we need in advance of the meeting,
Thank
okay?
you.
I apologize you haven't gotten the information that you were.
Yeah, I'm
looking
just
for
trying to-
prior
I'm
this,
trying to
but
help out.
If you give us your phone number and just write your name and phone number down, give it to Mr. Platt, and he'll get in touch with you
Thank you,
tomorrow.
thank you.
guys can have that
Thank
conversation.
you. Who do I
Alright.
take over here?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, at this point in time, we're going to conclude the, public portion. Yeah. Can I have a motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving along, next on the agenda is Resolution R 186, 2023. It's a resolution of the Township Committee of the Township of Mantua approving the hiring of Aaron Romano to the rank of Patrol Officer, 8th class, with the Mantua Township Police Department. This resolution will approve the hiring of a new police officer in the Township of Mantua. Can I have a motion to approve?
Second.
Roll call, Pam?
Mr. Layton?
Yes.
Mr. Leggy?
Yes.
Mrs. Lucas?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Scarrato?
Yes.
Mayor Zimmerman?
Yes. Chief, do you have anything that you'd like to say?
Yeah, just a couple quick things. Aaron is from Port Elizabeth. He was a full-time officer with the North Wildwood Police Department and a prior class 2 there as well. He has a Bachelor of Arts from Rowan University. And he's pretty new. So we're looking forward to having, you mentioned earlier about all the activity that the police department's had recently, and it's because we have so many new officers who are getting out there and doing things. So kind of excited.
All right, thank you. So without further ado, Mr. Romano, if you wouldn't mind coming up, and we'll administer the oath of office. put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand, please. I state your name.
I, Aaron Romano,
Do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the government established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
as a police officer
as a police officer
of the Township of Mantua
the Township of Mantua
Police Department,
Police Department,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. And, you wanna take a group picture? Chief?
That picture's not good enough. It's just, no, we can get a nicer camera.
Yeah. Make it official. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you slide that tripod to the side so I can get a picture of the group here? Please, thank you.
You're gonna have to put it down.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, can I get a picture?
We'll put your
Not with
rating
your
and
tripod.
instruction. You can set it up on the side if you like.
How's that?
Beautiful, sir, thank you. This is going on the official, Facebook.
Okay? Congratulations. Thank you. Wish you the best. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. Okay, moving along, we are going to go to Resolution R-187, 2023. This is a resolution of the Township Committee of the Township of Mantua supporting the will of the people in opposition to the construction of the Glassboro-Camden Light Rail Project. This resolution is by the Township Committee, and it supports and endorses the will of the people who voted on the ballot question, with 68.45% being the majority of the voters who opposed the construction of the Glassboro-Camden Light Rail Project. So with that being said, can we have a motion on this resolution, please?
So moved.
Second, roll call, Pam.
Committeeman Layton?
Yes.
Committeeman Leggy?
Yes.
Committeewoman Lukens?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Scarrato?
Yes.
Mayor Zimmerman?
Yes. Okay, moving along, we're going to do the remaining resolutions by consent, so that's resolution number 188, 2023 through number 205, 2023. These are considered to be routine by the Township Committee and will be acted upon in one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a Township Committee member so requests. In this event, the item will be removed from the consent agenda and entered into the normal sequence of the agenda. So can I have a motion to authorize the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adopt resolutions R 188, 2023 through R 205, 2023. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second. Roll call, Pam?
Committeeman Layton.
Yes.
Committeeman Leggy.
Yes.
Committeewoman Lucas.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Scarrato.
Yes.
Mayor Zimmerman.
Yes. Okay, next resolution is R 206, 2023. This is a resolution authorizing the closed session of the Township of Mantua to discuss a personnel matter pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12-8. This resolution will authorize the township to enter into a closed session to discuss a personnel matter. We do reserve the right to return and take action on this resolution, so that you're advised. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Layton.
Yes.
Committeeman Leggy.
Yes.
Committeewoman Lucas.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Scarrato.
Yes.
Mayor Zimmerman.
Yes. This time, we're gonna enter into closed session.